What's going on, everybody? I'm Shane from Heads and Tails, and today we have Rubber Ducky with us. He's hanging out. We're going to be explaining payments and how you should set up your payments for accepting sales on ball pythons. I personally like to use PayPal. That's my number one go-to for accepting payments. I also do have Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. I have quite a few of these apps that are able to accept payments. Now, obviously, always accept cash as well for, all intensive purposes. But whenever I'm selling a snake, I already know which one I'm going to get it from. Now, you do have to kind of watch the Venmo, the PayPal, all that stuff, because if it's through business LLC stuff, they're going to be charging you fees, and then you do have to pay state tax on top of that. So make sure you stay on top of that. Other than that, whenever you do shipping, actually I shouldn't skip forward. We should talk about payments. Now, payments, depending on the person, depends on the payment. I mean, if you know somebody and they need extended payments, it's your friend or something, okay. But on average, I usually give people 90 days to pay off the snake. With on average, 20% payment, or a down payment, 20% down payment is the average. I do like people to pay them off quicker, though. So, I mean, if you're looking into buying snakes, always know that the breeder is much happier if you pay them off quickly. It just makes everything go better. And you might actually be able to get a better deal from the breeder by paying all at once right ahead of time. With that being said, now we're talking about what you do whenever the sale is finalized and you are going to be sending out the snake. Now, if it is shipping, you're going to want to need a snake bag. And usually I tie them up and I put a zip tie on there. Snakes can escape, man. They are very good at escaping. So definitely want to be doing that. I order my boxes usually from like Ship Your Reptiles or Redline Shipping. There we go. Both of those basically. There's a few out there. On average, the box will cost you about $25. It'll have the foam in there, a little bit of padding, a snake bag with it, all the stickers you need so that you can ship it. I highly recommend going that way, especially if you only have a few snakes to sell. If you have a whole bunch of them, then maybe you might need to look into streamlining that a little bit better. But on the flip side, if you are meeting up with somebody to sell them the snake, that's an entirely different animal on its own. Usually you have no money coming into it, like they haven't left a down payment or anything. They're just going to buy the snake. They meet up with you. I don't recommend bringing people to your house right away. I always like to meet up in a public space. You just never know these days. It's better to be safe than sorry. If you end up growing fond of that person and you get to know them, cool, you can bring them around, show them all your collection and all that good stuff, because that's the one downside about meeting up with people, is that the only ones you bring are the only ones they see. So they don't know if you have gangs of snakes everywhere else, or if you just have like a few and you're like, oh, these are the ones. So it does help to have them actually see it. We've had a few times of having kind of like an open house where we bring a bunch of people in and they all look at the snakes, and I do a whole presentation and show everybody, everything from temperament to feeding habits to habitat and heat, and just, give them a rundown of the snakes overall. So as far as shipping goes, I always recommend trying to get either Ship Your Reptiles or Redline Shipping. Get one of those boxes, get it all set up, do it that way. It looks good and it's safe. Also, make sure that if you're shipping somewhere cold or something, you got your heat, your like hot pockets, or it's heat pads basically, but they're reptile ones that don't get too hot, because if you use just hot hands in there, ooh, that thing's gonna cook. You don't want to do that. You want to get the right ones, and that's why it's just best to go with the straight up already preset kit from either Ship Your Reptiles, Redline shipping, reptiles to you. There's a bunch of them. As far as meeting up with somebody, always make sure it's a well-lit area. You don't want to, because a lot of the time you will end up meeting up at night after they get off work or whatnot, you know. Try to keep it a well-lit area. I don't like to go to people's houses and stuff like for the first time. It's just kind of weird. So that's about all I got for you guys today. Check in tomorrow. Thanks for watching.